What's up, guys? Doomwake here. Welcome to another modern video on the channel. I was trying to get the Urza, blue-white Urza Yorion Stoneforge deck uploaded, but for some reason there was an issue when I tried to. After I rendered the file, there was an issue with the audio being out of sync, so I'm still going to try and work on that because that's some good content. I want to try and get that uploaded. But for now, we got some Esper Reanimator. Before we continue, make sure to hit the follow button, be subscribed to the channel, and let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video. So this particular list is coming from the most recent league dump. This is kind of like the initial version of where the Reanimator deck started. I know that Aspiring Spike has been playing a list with Grief and Ephemerate, and while I think that version is powerful, my problem with Grief right now is I think that Grief is not really the best against the Lurrus decks. And the reason for that is because they're very good at playing out the top of their deck. They can pick up Lurrus at any moment, and it's the card disadvantage that you put yourself at from Grief is just, it's not really where I want to be. And I think there's enough Lurrus decks to where I think this would be my preferred version of Reanimator, but I think it's close. Both decks have merits. You know, I think Grief is a little bit better against the linear strategies. But what this deck is trying to do is fairly straightforward. It's trying to put an Archon of Cruelty into the graveyard and then cast Persist and put it into play. How are we putting Archon into the graveyard? Well, we have Unmarked Grave, which just straight up searches for it, puts it into your graveyard, and then you can cast Persist on it. We also have Faithful Mending to discard Archon from our hand, and then we also have Consider, which if we have an Archon on top, can mill it in the graveyard. And then we're combining that with disruption elements like Thoughtseize, Counterspell to protect our combo. We have Prismatic Ending, just the best removal spell in the format. And then we also have Teferi Time Raveler. We're a blue-white deck. It's, you know, it's just a really powerful card, really good at protecting you from counter spells, really good against Endurance too, because Endurance is one of the more commonly played sideboard cards, and you can have a curve where you just play Teferi on turn 3, tick it up, they can't cast Endurance on your turn, and then on turn 4, you now have 4 mana to go Unmarked Grave and then Persist. And we have one copy of Sarah's Emissary. This is kind of a point of contention here, a little bit of a debate on whether or not you should main deck the Emissary. It's really good against Hammer Time. It's not the best against most of the other decks because a lot of the other decks that have removal spells, they have some form of pressure where you feel compelled to name creature, but then your Emissary just gets, you know, terminated, or if it has a -1/-1 counter on it from Persist, they can Unholy Heat it because it's now at 6/6, so you can run into some issues there, but it is really good against Hammer Time, and some decks just can't beat this game one, so I think it's worth it. We have a second copy of Burial Rites, and the reason for that is I personally like the second rights because sometimes you just draw Faithful Mending, and having, like, being able to draw a rights and discard it can really, you know, set you up for having a turn 4 reanimation spell, and that could be the difference between winning and losing, whether you cast this on turn 4 or turn 5. So I don't mind just naturally drawing one. You always are going to want to play at least one, so you can have one to tutor for with Unmarked Grave, but I don't mind the second copy. I think it comes up a decent amount with Faithful Mending. Mana base pretty straightforward. Fetch lands, shock lands. We have some off-color lands to be able to facilitate Prismatic Ending. X equals 4. We have a well, I guess it's just the Zagoth Triumph, but yeah, Esper mana plus the off-color Triumph for Prismatic Ending. Moving on to the sideboard, we got Flusterstorm for your control mirrors, Spreading Seas for Urza Saga, Leyline of the Void for graveyard decks, you know, Living End, Reanimator mirrors, that kind of stuff. Fatal Push for Hammer Time and Death Shadow. Teferi coming in against the other control decks. Chalice of the Void for Cascade and Death Shadow and Hammer Time, and then Engineered Explosives, Death Shadow, Hammer Time, Rhinos. So that's the deck. I think, you know, Reanimator's a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing the deck, and I really hope you guys are going to enjoy the video. So, without further ado, I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Round number 1, Esper Reanimator. Opponent revealed Kahira. I got 2 Thoughtseizes and a Teferi, so I think this hand's good enough. It's kind of like a 6-card hand with the Sarah's Emissary against Kahira, because I assume they're blue-white control, but I think the rest of the hand is good enough that I'm willing to keep this. I'm going to go Watery Grave on 1. Watery Grave on 1, so I can go Thoughtseize into potentially Counterspell, or I can Thoughtseize, then tap land on turn 2. Let's get the Watery Grave, but I don't want to get Godless Shrine, because then I can't play Counterspell on turn 2 if I want to. Even though I'm likely just going to go Zagoth Triumph Thoughtseize next turn. I guess I'll take Chalice, because that turns off my other Thoughtseize. we get a Doomed Cheerleader emoji? I don't think so. Alright, they Sprinting Sees me, that's fine. It's actually not fine. Because now I have to fetch... Oh, God. Because now I have to get Goblet Shrine, right? Or I could just not cast Thoughtseize and just jam Teferi next turn, hope they didn't find a counterspell. I think that's actually better. Because if I Thoughtseize them this turn, I can't play Teferi next turn unless I find a land. And now I can just get Hallowed Fountain. Okay, not the best draw, but... Please resolve Teferi. Please resolve Teferi. Get the Hallowed Fountain. It's probably not going to resolve, but... Oh, it did. Plus, yep. Not drawing a card. I'm, like, worried that they may play a Chalice. But I guess if they had Chalice, they would have certainly played it last turn. Maybe it was good to draw a card there. In case they draw Ending. That might have been worth it. That's their turn. Okay, that I can beat. So, let's draw a card first. And then I think I'm going to go main phase Mending. Oh, definitely casting Mending now. Because now if I draw a land, we're Gucci. Alright, drew a land Pog. I think I'm going to discard the second Archon. I don't know if it matters too much, but... I guess I'm way more likely to be able to hardcast the Archon, so maybe I should keep the Archon in my hand. And I'm never hardcasting this one. But if they, like, Solitude this, then I kind of want the second one in the graveyard. Let's do this. So they have Breeding Pool, Castle Vantress, Kahira in their hand. You didn't draw to play around Typhoon Cycle. No, it was more so Chalice, but Typhoon Cycle is also a reason, right? Because they had 3 mana up. If I minus Nate Typhoon, it's pretty bad. Alright, opponent doesn't want to play anymore. Let's bring in Flusterstorm, Teferi. I think that's it, right? Cut the Emissary. I don't really have any bad cards in this matchup. Maybe can trim a couple endings. I don't think I want ley lines. Fatal Push, no. Seize, no. Chalice, no. Explosives, no. Huh. I gotta cut 2 cards. Maybe just 2 endings. Although they have Rest in Peace, right? I don't want to cut any of my endings. Maybe the second Rites? I don't know. Yeah, maybe the second Rites against Rest in Peace. And then maybe... I don't know. Maybe a Consider? Shave a Consider. They always have it when I draw Frodo Valley. Oh, the Shark Typhoon? Yeah. Yeah, whenever you just randomly minus, they always have the Shark Typhoon. The hand's okay. You can go Consider into Counterspell. It's a little weak to Rest in Peace, but... Flusterstorm is so good. It's such a unique effect, too, you know? Playing Watery Grave on 1 in case I draw Thoughtseize, then I can maybe go tap land Thoughtseize. Really hope they don't have Rest in Peace, though. Okay. It's good for me that they don't have Rest in Peace. Prismatic Ending. If they had Rest in Peace, they would have played it. I'm just going to bin that. Okay. I'm actually going to hang on to that. I'm just going to play Hold Up Counterspell. And then next turn I can go Thoughtseize, Hold Up Counterspell. But if I Thoughtseize and they have 2 Teferis, it's kind of awkward, so... It's really awkward that that I have my, you know what I mean? Like I can't cast Thoughtseize, Hold Up Counterspell, and Mending. That's what I'm trying to say. They have 3 cards in hand. Alright, I'm just going to hold up Mending and Counterspell. I don't think they'll counter the Mending. Getting so tired of Voidwalker Thoughtseize when I'm on Tron. Ugh. I haven't actually gotten to do that to a Tron player yet. You get to, like, Voidwalker their Karn. Wow, they countered that. I guess they know I'm missing land drops, so it's reasonable. But now I can just flash it back, so whatever. And they're also not willing to cast a spell, so okay with this. Okay, now they don't counter it. I'll discard Archon Rites. I'm not going to tap out. Just hold up another Mending. And then I can go Mending, discard other Archon, maybe Grave. And then I can hopefully find a Thoughtseize or a Persist. Okay, now just discard the Zagoth Triome. Just get Hallowed Fountain here. Again, still don't want to go for it until I find a Thoughtseize or a Persist. How about a Mystic Gates? I think I'll just pass here. I could Teferi Counterspell, but then if they have, like, I Tef, they Counterspell, I Counterspell, they Counterspell, untap, play Rest in Peace, it could get pretty dicey. I think I'm just not going to cast the Mending. As long as I'm hitting land drops, it's fine. I'll play this Drago game for a while. Basically until I find Thoughtseize. But I'm comfortable doing this. Bam! We did it. Oops. So now we can Thoughtseize, Unburial Rites, and Counterspell. They've just had the Rest in Peace in their hand in the entire game. They haven't cast it. Well, I guess I take Solitude. Right? And then go Rites the Archon. Interesting. So they have Ending, Rip, Tef, Tef. So they... I guess they could find a Counterspell, right? To go Tef, bounce this, I counter, they counter back. I mean, I understand why they didn't want to cast the Rest in Peace, because they wanted to try and find a Counterspell. Because they assumed that I had a Counterspell, which, you know, rightfully so. But now I just don't even care about this. Because now I can just go attack. And then I can go Ending. Just get their whole hand. Just ending this. Yeah. Ending, Grave, Persists. Alright. I think we got him, chat. I think we got him. Alright, opponent agrees. Opponent agrees. 1-0, let's go. 6 lands and a Faithful Mending, huh? Nope. Back second Consider or land. I think I put back second Consider in case I draw Teferi. And now I can just bin any land that I see with Consider. It's Yawgmoth? No, not Yawgmoth. Maybe Infect? I'm just gonna go Thoughtseize into Thoughtseize Consider, I think. Oh. So I guess I take a creature and hope they don't draw a land? And then if they break on land, I can take the other creature? Maybe that was dumb. Maybe I should have just taken a pump spell. And then if they draw a land, then I could take another pump spell? Yeah, because now it's pretty bad for me, right? Yeah, no, I just lose. Okay. Mm. Oh, they had the elf. I thought the elf was a... Oh, my God. I thought the elf was a pump spell. When I saw G, I just assumed Groundswell. I literally saw the G, didn't look at the rest of the text, and I thought it was Groundswell. That was bad. I thought it was Groundswell. I just saw G. I didn't know. Alright, well now I have to go Consider and then Thoughtseize. Yes? Okay, Graveyard that. Alright, alright. Yeah, I just literally saw the G and I thought it was Groundswell. Okay, well, I have to take that to not die. Probably still gonna die, though. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have to draw Prismatic Ending? It's not Prismatic Ending. Alright, we're dead. Yeah, probably would have won that game if I took the Glistener Elf. But I thought it was a Groundswell, so. Alright, Jealous Explosives, Spreading Seas, Flusterstorm, Fatal Push. All coming in. Maybe Teferi, too. I think I don't like the counter magic. Well, Counterspell. I think I don't mind Flusterstorm against them. What the heck else do I cut? So many good cards. I've got 7 of these? Rights is kind of slow. I've got 6 cards. Do I got Consider? On the basis that I just don't have that kind of time to just dirtle around? Maybe. I am bringing in more one-mana interaction. And maybe I don't bother with Spreading Seas. It's like only good against Ink Moth. Yeah, I like this. This looks good. No, I like Tef a lot. Tef shuts off their protection spells. I think on the play, I like Tef more than Consider. On the draw, I think I have to be faster and I can go cut Tef for Consider. But I think on the play, I like Tef enough. Alright, play first. I promise I'll read their cards this time. Promise I will read their cards this time. I think I'm going to get the Triumph on one just to not draw the Triumph. Is Seas for Inkmoth not good enough for consideration? Well, that was the debate, right? It's like Teferi versus Seas versus Consider. That was the last card in my deck. I decided to go with Teferi in the play, but I think maybe Seas Consider is better on the draw. But I think on the play you have enough time for Teferi, and it shuts off all of their protection spells. Also remember, I don't have Counterspell in my deck anymore, so I don't have to fetch a ton of blue sources. Even though I probably want to do that anyways, but... Like, I don't want to draw the Triumph. Alright. Godless Shrine, go. We'll cast the Mending here, maybe loot away these lands, try to find an Archon. I assume they have Graveyard Hate. It's probably Endurance, right? Yeah, that's another reason to have Teferi's Endurance, because they usually have a bunch of Endurances in their sideboard. Well, I guess I'm going to go for it. The thing about the Endurance is it makes them pitch a card in their hand. So, I think it's fine. I feel like I'm probably going to get Endurance here, but I don't think it's that bad. You ever going to play that Blueback Processor deck again? That deck was so sweet. Not play around Force Spike. Force Spike is not legal in Modern, thankfully. Well, Mana Tithe is, but my opponent's playing a Soul Tide deck. They don't have Mana Tithe. I wonder if they have another Endurance. Should I go for it? I have 5 cards in their hand. I think I'm gonna wait. Yeah, I'm gonna wait, I think. This is tough. I don't know if I'm supposed to wait there. But I could draw Teferi or Thoughtseize. And they're not doing anything. Yeah, they obviously have Endurance. Okay, maybe not. Well, now I just might do it anyways to force them to pitch a card, just like last time. Could also wait to try and find Thoughtseize, though. I think I'm gonna jam. Question is, do I jam the Emissary? Do they play removal spells? I don't think they play removal spells, right? I'm gonna jam the Emissary. Student back, any reason you're on the consider Thoughtseize version of Reanimator or the Ephemerate? See, I don't like Grief. I was never a big fan of Grief. I think Ephemerate's a fine card. I just, like, I don't know. I never liked the Grief version of this deck. I'm a big fan of Counterspell. I've always liked Counterspell in this deck. Alright, they don't have any outs. Game number 3. So, even though I'm on the draw, I still think I would rather have Teferi against Endurance than Consider or Spreading Seas. So I'm just going to resubmit. Well, I think you could still maybe justify playing Ephemerate without the Elementals because of Archon, and just utilizing Ephemerate as just like a protection spell for your Archon. But I don't know. I just don't like Grief that much. I'm gonna keep this. It's missing white mana, but I have Grave Persist. Makes me sad you're playing 0 Muldrifter. I'd be more likely to play Muldrifter if I had Ephemerate, but I think my issue with the Grief versions is they just go down too many cards. And I feel like Counterspell is a lot better against the 4-color decks. Counterspell is a little bit worse against, like, when you're racing, for sure, but no, I know that, yeah. The early Muldrifter list did not have Ephemerate. Alright, opponent's got 2 cards in hand. How dead are we is the question. And we'll get the Emissary. How dead are we? Do I think the gap between Tier 1 and Tier 2, 3 decks has grown with MH2? The gap between Tier 1 and Tier 2, 3 decks. No, we're dead. Oh yeah, for sure. 100%. Alright, well, we died. I had them dead on 3, they had me dead on 3, and they were in the play, so. No lands. That's not always good. Alright. Yeah, you're not going to like it yet, but I'm going to keep this hand. I'm not going to go to 5. I have Consider. I have a turn 3 Archon, so. Yeah, this hand's a keep, I think. Don't think this hand's a mulligan. Hallowed Fountain. Serum Visions. Is this Phoenix? It's probably Phoenix. I guess it could be Jeskai Murktide. Yeah, this is the classic one land bobble, never hit my second land. I do get a lot of looks for a land, yeah. That's why I kept it. It's a land. Alright, had it. Had it the whole time. Never didn't not have it. If they hold up mana, I think I'm going to wait. Because they could be playing Murktide. Or Blue-Eye Control. I guess Blue-Eye Control wouldn't play Serum Visions, but They definitely could be playing Jeskai Murktide, so if they just... Okay, well. Now I'm not going to wait. No longer waiting, confirmed. Alright, are they Murktide or are they Phoenix? Still kind of think they're Phoenix, but... Went bottom top. Not going to play around Daze. Don't daze me, bro. I could have played an untapped land to represent Ephemerate, but I kind of want 4 mana next turn in case I find like Counterspell plus another 2-drop, so I don't think it's worth bluffing there. Ginger, thank you for the raid, buddy. Appreciate you. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome everybody from Ginger Stream. We're playing some Modern, doing some Esper Reanimator stuff. If you're new here, hit the follow button. Totally free. Would appreciate that. Thanks again for the raid, buddy. Yeah, some would say the follow button is indeed too free. It's as free as it could possibly be. Ginger got trophy 40 with Spike as his round 5 opponent. Wow, that's awesome. That is sick. Doesn't get any better than that, huh? That's the best way to get to get on top of the leaderboard, especially if Spike was also 4-0. No, it's too free. Too free. F-R-E-E. F-R-E-E. Spike was 2-0? Jeez. That's crazy. No, that's not how you say that word. I said F-R-E-E. I probably should have countered that. 2, 3, 4. The bean. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna stop. 2, 3, D's nuts. Nah, whatever, I'll counter this. They have 1 mana up. I guess I could get Lightning Axed, but if they Lightning Axe me, then I just writes my thing, so who cares? Okay. So they're going to get back Arclight Phoenix and not have a blocker because they have to sacrifice it? Dope. I feel kind of bad that we have Leylines in our sideboard. It's just like, I think this matchup is probably insane for us anyways, and we have Leylines. Teferi could be good. Chalice is, I think, good against them, right? It's Chalice on 1. EE bad, Push bad, Seize bad, Flusterstorm, fine. I don't think Ending is really good against them. What's their Graveyard Hate? They have... What was Spike playing for Graveyard Hate? Soul Guide Lantern? You're out of here, Izza? What was Spike's Graveyard Hate? Yeah, all their creatures have the same CMC, yeah. Stream Decker. I gotta look at Spike's Spike's Phoenix deck. Aspiring Spike. What Graveyard Hate you working with? I want to say it's Lantern. Maybe Surgical, because of Phoenix. I guess Surgical would make more sense, right? Jeskai Phoenix. His list has... Oh, it has nothing. This is his latest list. Blossoming Calm, Path to Exile, Wear Tear, Wildfire, and 2 Ashioks. Which I don't care about any of those cards, except Ashiok, of course, but... I kind of want to cut Teferi. It's kind of slow. And I think I'm just going to trim... kind of want to, like, trim a right, because it's also kind of slow, and then just, like, 2 Considers. Let's do this. Alright, I'm in. Alright, I'm in. I got a Leyline and I got a Chalice. I'm gonna get Wear Teared, aren't I? I feel like I'm gonna get Wear Teared. It's gonna be sad. Gonna be some sad times if I get wear-teared. Please don't wear-tear me, bro. I feel like I went from seeing no one run Ashiok on the board to everyone running Ashiok on the board, and I have no clue why. Yeah, that's just the spike effect. It's just the spike effects. Alright, black mana? Not quite, but I'll take it. Alright, please, dear God, do not have wear-tear. Please do not have wear-tear. I literally cannot win if you cast wear-tear. Uh-oh. Okay, that's fine. Well, I have to draw Black Source. It can't be a fetch land either. That's actually kind of not fine. Because now I need black mana. Yeah, my hand's loaded, but I need black mana. That's not a fetch land. Okay, go. I guess now I can counter a wear-tear. They exiled a River of Tears, which was a Black Source. Thing's probably going to kill me if I don't counter it, right? I don't like countering it, but it's probably going to kill me if I don't counter it, so... Alright, Black Source, they milled a grave. Come on, Black Source. Not a fetch land. Watery Grave. Godless Shrine. Shit. I might actually be in trouble this game. Okay. They're gonna cast Demolish? They are. Please give me a Black Source. Please, please, please. Should have specified. Should have specified. In before chat asks, why aren't you fetching? Did draw a Black Source. Yeah, just pay 2 so I can fetch. Oh, man. Watery Grave. Basic Swamp. Godless Shrine. Please. Please, I beg. I beg. It has to be this turn, too, I think. I think we're out of outs? Yeah, I think we're out of outs, right? Yeah. Alright. Game 3. So they are playing Spike's deck card for card, because they have the Ashioks. Let's go. Let's go. Which means I want to keep all the counterspells and the prismatic endings. Alright, play first. So I have all my colors, and I have Faithful Mending, but I have no Leyline. Still keeping. Holy crap! Get all the raids tonight. Cedric, thank you very much for the raid. Really appreciate that. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome everybody from Cedric's stream. We're playing some Modern tonight, doing some Esper Reanimator stuff. If you're new here, be sure to hit that follow button. Doesn't cost you anything. Hope you had a good stream, buddy. How was the cube? How was the cube? Yeah, the follow button is 2, 3, apparently. Problem is if I cast Unmarked Grave, they're just going to Ashiok me. So I kind of don't want to cast the Unmarked Grave this turn. And just, like, pretend that I have a counterspell. Oh. Well, that makes things a little bit easier, huh? Makes things a little bit easier. How's this version compared to the Grief one? I like Counterspell a lot more than Grief. I like Counterspell a lot more than Grief. Oh, should I play my land first in case they Spell Pierce? Maybe. Or their hand just sucks. So I just take... Well, actually, no, their hand's not that bad, right? I take Metamorphose here, right? So they go end step Salvaging, discard Phoenix, untap, rebound, discard Phoenix. I have to take Metamorphose. And then I have to go Godless Shrine, untapped, unmarked Grave for Rites. And then hopefully Rites Emissary is good enough. Sure. I mean, they could also just find an Ashiok, right? But also, if I Rites Emissary, I have to name creature, right? Because they're going to have 2 Phoenixes in play. And if I name creature, they can just burn my Emissary, potentially. Why is chat not being good? What's chat doing? Chat, what are you doing? Then maybe drop the hammer. Behave, chat. Just doing chat things. Chat, calm down. Calm down, chat. What's this? Serum Visions. So I'm going to get double Phoenix here. So we're going to go to 9 and then put this into play and name creature and hope that's good enough. What's the rest of their hand? The rest of their hand is... They played both Salvagings. So they have Demolish, Wear, Tear, and 2 unknowns, right? Alright, well. Name creature, because I think I have to. Hope it's good enough. It is a 2-turn clock, so they only have 2 turns to find an answer. I don't know if they have how many answers they have, but do made it every time. Also, chat, well, all the people who are new here, I bet you didn't know that if you have Twitch Prime, you get 1 free sub a month, so make sure you are utilizing your Amazon Prime subscription. Because it's free and you wouldn't want that to go to waste. I'm just saying. You don't want to give the money back to Jeff Bezos. Rip. Rip, rip, rip. Planes, I guess. We're probably super dead now. But Jeff needs it more. French Wombat, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Yeah, now they can demolish back the path. We're super dead, right? I don't think we have any outs. Don't think we have any outs. Alright, we're dead. 1 and 2. This league's not going so well. It's alright, we'll bring it back, though. Keep it. Yeah, maybe Fury's better as a sideboard card in that deck. You want to play Fury and Season Pyromancer and Reanimator? I've tried that, but I never could get the mana to work. I've tried some, like, Mardu Reanimator decks. Deck needs Faithless Looting? What deck doesn't need Faithless Looting? I'm going to Ending over Thoughtseize. I probably should have got a Godless Shrine, though. Because now I can't double Thoughtseize on 2. I could just get a basic, though. Because what I kind of want to do is Thoughtseize them this turn, and then next turn I can Thoughtseize myself. Okay, their hand's really bad. I don't even care about the Murktide, right? Yeah, their hand is awful. So yeah, next turn I could just go Thoughtseize myself, play Persist. Played Scalding Tarn. Alright, new plan. New plan. Just in case they drew a counterspell. Just gonna plus it. Maximum greed, Thoughtseize, persist. Doing Thoughtseizing yourself when they have a DRC in play is one of the worst possible things you could do. That's not where you want to be. That is not where you want to be. Okay, Serum Visions. They played a Delta. So they have Murktide Flooded Strand. They went bottom bottom. So they drew Channeler off the Visions. I mean, this game's just over, right? I'm gonna do it now because I want to draw a land. Although they're probably just gonna scoop anyways. Normally I wouldn't want to main phase this, because obviously I can just plus Tef and do it on their turn, but I want to find a land to potentially Thoughtseize them. See? Your turn. So the last card's Murktide. And even if they draw a 1-drop to go 1-drop Murktide, I can just bounce the 1-drop attack, they sack the Murktide. Oh, yeah, I should have drawn Step the Thoughtseize, right. Because I was going to plus the Tef anyways. Yeah, you're right. Alright, so Chalice coming in. Huh. Like, is this a matchup I want Leylines? Maybe. I think Chalice is good to stop Unholy Heat. I'm going to Tremor Rights. I think I want the Fluster Storms. I think in this matchup, if you're going to bring in Chalice, you usually cut the Considers. Keep the Thoughtseize because they're just like high upside. They're still pretty good. Maybe 4th to Fairy. I don't think you need Fatal Push if you also have 4 Prismatic Ending, so I think this is fine. Also, I don't want to bring in Fatal Push when I'm bringing in Chalice. Just not sure if I want Leylines. Like, would you rather have Leylines than Teferis? Maybe. I don't know, it's tough. It's really tough. Sideboarding with this deck is hard, because you don't really have a lot of cards you ever want to cut. This hand's insane. This hand is pretty much perfect, right? I guess replace Mending with Thoughtseize, then it's perfect. Yeah, I know. How insane is it that, like, Prismatic Ending is just, like, single-handedly keeping Tron in check? It's so crazy, right? Oh, I guess they just wanted to scry that badly. Sure. Guess that's fine. The new 3-mana Planeswalker. I haven't really looked at the spoilers. I don't know what that does. I'm gonna Grieve this turn in case I find Thoughtseize. Then I can just go Thoughtseize Persist next turn. Sucks if they have Lantern, but... Satoru. Oh, I feel like maybe I've seen it. I don't remember exactly what it does, though. The new Umezawa. Okay, I have seen it, but I can't remember what it did. Perfectly played around the Blood Moon. And by perfectly played around the Blood Moon, I mean I totally forgot about it, but I just randomly played around it anyways. They still could have Heat, though, so it's not game over. One blue-black legendary planeswalker, being your end step. If it entered the battlefield, he phases out. +1, draw a card, discard a card unless you attack this turn. -2, make... Oh, that thing. It's kind of slow, though, just for a looting effect. It's a little too slow, I think. They don't have Heat? Lit. You're the planes, too? Even drew the planes. Go. Even drew the planes. I don't know that I needed the planes, but drew the planes anyways. Oh no. I guess I'll just discard it to Mending. I need to find another reanimation spell, but... Oh, you're gonna like this line, chat. I'm gonna go play the Triome, bounce the Blood Moon, and then the Triumph comes into play untapped to kill the Jace. And I drew Thoughtseize. Oh my god. I actually don't really care about the Blood Moon, right? Yeah, I don't care about the Blood Moon. White, blue, black, green, done. Yep. No, I don't care about the moon. I have 3 basics. I don't care about the moon. I'd rather just take this. We also have the 4th color for moon itself if we wanted. Yeah, but look, you know what? I wanted to get fancy, okay? Okay, alright. It's a good draw. I could just pass here, right? Yeah, I think I can just pass. I do have to counter the Blood Moon because I don't have two swamps in my deck. So I would like to counter the Blood Moon. I think I'm going to let them have that. Yeah, I'm going to let them have that. Because I can find Prismatic Ending. It's going to get a basic island. But I do want to counter this because I don't have a second basic swamp in my deck to be able to hardcast the Archon, and I think that's where this game is going to end up. Yeah, like, I'm actually going to keep the Archon in my hand, I think. For now. It's worse if I drop Persist, but... So, now I can go... Tef, bounce Ragavan? Because I have a backup Tef anyways. I just want to cycle through these Tefs. Okay. Take your Ragavan. Play this tapped, pass. And they can heat the Tef, but I have a second Tef, so I don't really care. If I draw a land, I can just play the Archon. Okay, so they didn't heat, which means... I mean, if I cast the Archon, they just get to heat it, but... Do I care? Because I'm getting a trigger off of it. I don't think I care. Because it's still a 2-for-1, right? It also just uses my mana better. Oh, yeah, I guess they knew about the Archon too, yeah. So they discard Pierce. Yeah, they're also at 2 now, which means any trigger kills them. They're super dead. Uptick. Let's cast the Mending from the graveyard. That's lethal. I need black mana. Got him. Force them to waste a mana killing it on their turn. What do you mean? Oh, you mean like hardcast the Archon? Yeah, sure. Alright, 2 and 2. That matchup was pretty easy, huh? Counterspell to Fairy Rights against Yorion. Alright, I'm in. I'm gonna get the stinky Triome out of my deck first. Because I don't ever want to draw the Triome. Abundant Growth. Okay. Your turn. It'd be nice to not draw lands. What's up, Takabolas? How's a new gig treating me? It's been good. I've been having a good time. I've been enjoying it a lot. Persist, huh? We just yam into a counterspell? I think I'm here for it. Did Tron win something? I played it twice last night, queued back-to-back tonight, first 2 matches. I don't think it did. I think it's just the time of day, perhaps. Time to hang up Tron. You'll never hang up Tron Killatron, you know that. Alright, let's kill this to Fairy, and then get our tap land. I agree. I mean, I don't think Tron is in the best position right now. I do agree with that statement. Alright, go. We're just chilling. Wish we had a Yorion. I always wish I had a Yorion. They're shocking. What's this? Memory Deluge. I think I have to let that one go. Because if I counter this and they have Teferi, big Teferi, it's pretty bad. Looks like they're playing Spike Stack. Yeah, they're just playing Spike Stack. Bant Control. I don't know if this is a good matchup or not. I think it's probably not a great matchup. Another Consider. No, I'm good. Go. Green, blue. I don't think I can fight over those. How did Prismatic Ending kill Tron? Because there's so much Prismatic Ending in the format, and when you have Prismatic Ending on the first turn against Tron, like, here's the thing about Tron. A lot of times, Tron players will, like, the way that the Tron deck is you sometimes have to keep these hands that, like, if your turn 1 play gets dealt with, whether it's with Force of Negation or it dies naturally, then sometimes your hand just doesn't function. And Prismatic Ending just exemplifies that, you know what I mean? And that's the big issue. It's just so good against Tron. Because it just makes their hand it makes a lot of their hands non-functional. Right, exactly, yeah. Alright, they didn't fight over that. That's why they didn't fight over that. Alright, at least that's a thing. I'm going to cast the Unburial Rites just to use my mana more efficiently. Actually... No, I shouldn't do that, right? Because I can persist into a Thoughtseize. Or potentially... Yeah, I should persist here. Just because I could... yeah, I could draw Thoughtseize. Alright, they fetch a land. Trigger happens, they sack Tef. Good chance they have Solitude. Alright, go. Are we gonna hardcast Archon? Or hardcast Emissary? I think we might. What's up, Oko? How you doing today? Yeah, there's also a lot of Saga hate, which in turn means there's a lot of just, like, land hate. Blood Moon and Alpine Moon and all this stuff. So, the more Sagas there are, the more hate there's going to be for Tron, which makes it even worse. Whoa. Never mind, they're not playing Spike's deck. So he probably has a Wilderness Wreck deck in there somewhere, right? Job's going good. I've been enjoying it. 5 mana. Solitude. Yeah. Not exactly what I was hoping for. This is one of those spots you wish you had a Ephemerate. Is that even a good draw because they have the Solitude in play? Just attack it? Could just yam this Emissary. Name creature. Or I could Tef uptick, Tef goes to 2, and then play this next turn. It's probably better to play Tef, right, if they don't have a counterspell. I guess this is worse if they have another Solitude, because they can just, like, play the Solitude. Oh, we know about that, too. Sure. That's not as bad, though, because Tef goes to 1, and then I can plus it to 2, play this, block here, Tef goes back to 1. Oh, I have Shark Typhoon? No, they're doing this. Okay. This is not the worst. Oh. Now it's bad. Back to being bad. Sure. Now this just gets bounced by Teferi. I mean, I could name Planeswalker, but then they Solitude it. They bounced the Ice Fang. Okay. Yeah. Four-color non-Omnath or red control. They're doing some weird stuff. They're like a Yorion, Wilderness Reclamation. Looks like they're probably 4 colors. Maybe this is just for ending, but... No, because they have Decay too. Alright, let's cast that. Odds of it resolving are basically 0, but I got nothing else to do. Counterspell. Is this my preferred Reanimator list? I thought it was. I wanted to try it out. This is the one that I saw from the league dump. I wanted to give it a shot, but... A couple spots that I kind of wish I had Ephemerate, so it's tough. Kalengi with the 3 months says, thoughts about spirits in this meta? If you can find a good answer to Fury, then I think maybe Tribal decks could be on the menu, but you have to really think about, what your answer is to Fury. I'm just going to concede this game. We're super dead. Yeah, Dr. Queller does win a lot with that deck. And this is a good point. Alright, Teferi coming in. Do I want Leyline of the Void just for Deluge? That seems kind of bad. Flusterstorm's good. Seize seems bad. Leyline's bad. Push bad. Well... I don't know if they have Rest in Peace, so I think I'm going to keep in the Prismatic Endings just in case. Just, like, trim a couple considers. That's true. They are the Doctor. But yeah, it also could be that maybe, like, it might not be necessarily that Spirits is... Like, if Dr. Queller is playing, an insane amount of leagues, maybe that's why he's getting that many, or they're getting that many trophies. It doesn't necessarily mean that, if they're playing a limited amount of leagues and they're just winning all the matches with Spirits, then, But they do have a lot of trophies with Spirits, I will say that. Counterspell, Unmarked Grave to Fairy. I guess that's fine. Go ahead and fetch our Triome, so don't draw it. Let's go ahead and... You know what? I'm actually not going to play Unmarked Grave, because if I play Grave, they can just resolve Rest in Peace. I should have played this, but... I'm going to play this Drago game. Next turn, I'll play Rites with, or Grave with 2 mana up, then Grave with 2 mana up. I'm just going to keep holding up 2 mana, basically. Let's get Watery Grave. Go Delta, Unmarked Grave. Get the Archon. I play Spirits occasionally, most of my wins come when I dodge Fury. Yeah, that's usually what it is, right? Like, when I played a league with humans, like, I recorded a video for YouTube with humans, and I played 5 matches, did not play against a single Fury deck, and I went 4-1. But, you know, when you play against Fury and you're playing Tribal, you're gonna have a bad time. It's just the way it is. That is just the way it is. But as long as you can dodge those Tribal decks, it's not too bad. They have 6 cards. I guess I just make them have double Counterspell here? Because again, I can't really play Teferi, because if I play Teferi, they just counter it. And I can't double spell. I think making them have double Counterspell is fine. It's not really going to get much better for me. They have Veil of Summer, the most heinous magic card of all time. Yes, MTG or Premium is how you win the Tribal. You are correct. Could be Fluster. I assume it's Veil, because I always get Veiled. Fuck that card. Alright, didn't get Veiled. It's really good. Definitely happy I did not get Veiled. So they're going to go Land Solitude. Or that, sure. Another Archon of Cruelty, huh? I think I am going to play Teferi with a black up. I'm going to cycle the Teferi to try and rip a Thoughtseize. Not the best. Oh, I should have cast Unmarked Grave. I'm dumb. I don't know why I didn't cast Grave. I forgot they had a Teferi. I was thinking I could hold up Counterspell, but should have cast Grave there. Is it insane to grave for Mending? The problem with graving for Mending is I don't have another reanimation spell in hand. So it's, you know, it's kind of weird to do that. Let's see, we draw. So I think I'm going to ending the Tef and cast Grave. I don't know what I'm graving for, though. Yeah, maybe you're right, honestly. Maybe just getting Mending is fine. Well, now I could just pass with Counterspell up, actually. Yeah, now I just pass with Counterspell up. Sure. Yeah, it is kind of weird that Archon didn't get a borderless treatment. A lot of the cards did. I don't know what they're like. Well, no, it didn't get a borderless because it got a, what's the, showcase, right? The sketch art or whatever, so that's why I didn't get a borderless, because it has sketch. Sure. Don't really care about that. I'd much rather have them resolve that than the rest in peace. Okay, so now we can go Grave for Mending and then try to spike a Persist. Yes, I should thin my deck first. Just get a Swamp. Go do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, I guess I can maybe hardcast Archon if I draw land. Abundant Growth. Feels like this game is slipping away from us. Something tells me we're not winning this game. This might be an early concession angle. Alright, I'm going to cast my Archon. If they counter it, I'm probably going to scoop. Why would I scoop, you ask? They have 6 cards in their hand, and they have an active Teferi, and a Memory Deluge, and a Wreck. And I do not want to play against that stuff. Alright, you win. 2-3! We died. Never winning that game.